Welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies, and welcome to Visky in the Jagd Panther. This 6.3 battle rating tank destroyer variant built on the Panther chassis actually sits a significant amount higher than the Panther that it's based on, and for decent reasons. The armor on this, fairly good in terms of the game from the front, if they don't aim for your lower frontal plate, and the gun, that familiar, powerful, and versatile cannon found on the Panther tank itself, a tank destroyer variant of the same gun. It's effectively the same thing in the game. The mobility, as good, if not better, than a typical Panther tank in the game. And the one caveat, you don't have a turret, so you trade armor, overall protection, for the ability to rotate your turret. Not something that Visky has had an issue with, as he's going to continue to show us in this match some incredible ninja skills. Pay attention to where he's moving on this map, because he's moving in the right ways, as he has been continually catching allied tanks with their side on, focusing in another direction, and easily able to take them down. That's not always going to be the case in this match, but you're going to see some very good sneaky breaky gameplay from Visky, bouncing a shot off his side armor as that enemy Sherman 76, hitting the rock pile now with his quick reload, aimed for the side armor instead of, goodbye Mr. Sherman 76, instead of aiming for the rear of the crew compartment, as you would want to do against a Jagd Panther at that angle. The Panther armor as well on the casemate tank destroyer, not fantastic in terms of side armor, but not completely useless either. So you really have to take into account your round's individual performance against sloped angles when you are deciding where to aim. That Sherman should have had Visky, but he didn't. A little bit of luck, a little bit of derping on part of the enemy team can make for an incredible match if everything else falls into place, and it very much will in this match. Stay tuned. Taking down a T-34-85 on the move, proving you don't have to have a turret to have better gun handling than a Soviet medium tank. Cries in Russian bias. And now, looking at the 5.7 Tiger that sits at a higher battle rating than its previous model cousin, because it has a rounded cupola. What do you mean APCR round? Nobody uses the APCR. Anyway, the Tiger is still just fine at 5.7 and just fine at 5.3. I especially appreciate the inexperienced Tiger players that take out the Tiger at 5.3 and expect it to do well with flat on 100 millimeters of armor against everything in the world that can punch straight through that. I do appreciate your contribution to my KD. Speaking of, Visky doing quite well in this match, as I predicted. It's almost like I can see the future. Oh man, so many exciting things coming to the future of Toshio Thunder channel and my life in particular. Things that I can't quite reveal yet. Things still in the works. But as we watch Visky sneak up on another victim here, I'd like to share with you that I am working on another meme compilation. This video might come out before my first meme compilation that I've been working on comes out. That will be coming out on Friday, so you know if it's already out, because it's going to be the best. And I would really appreciate you guys sharing that one around and showing some love, because it took me just about a month of working on things. And hello, Italian SP recoilless rifle. What is that? Do you guys hear that? Do you actually hear it? This is new today. So, there was a recent update to the soundscape in War Thunder once again, and I can't believe I'm hearing this. It's like jingle bells. It's like Santa Claus. Is that the clippity-clop of reindeer? No, what we just heard is the whistling of a bomb, lads and ladies. That's right, bombs do whistle in War Thunder. We just couldn't hear them because our ears were not pure enough to discern the sound. It got cut out because it didn't have a high enough priority, and now the sound priority has shifted from user sounds to surrounding sounds to the point that you can hear things like enemy gunfire and whistling bombs that are so important for you to hear, as Visky getting suicide bombed by what looked to be an American aircraft only loses a track in the process, and yet you can hear to the left, around the corner, through the wall, some sort of enemy tank. And he's idling, so he probably hears or sees Visky. Now it would be purely auditory. Only the ears, I tell you, as Visky repairs his track and keeps the area smoked up the enemy, we can hear him not pushing forward. Well, I can hear him. I don't know how loud the background audio is going to be for this video, but you're going to watch Visky. Look at him. He's turning around. The enemy's staring into that smoke screen, maybe, or is he? Is he even that aware of what's going on around him? We will shortly find out. Visky checking his corners nicely, as you do, and behind the bush, over the river and through the woods, that enemy T-34 was staring all the way off at Grandma's house when he got shot. He had no idea of what's going on. So, that is already a double ace in the casemate Yagged Panther. And Visky is not done yet. He's in that sweet spot. He's in that sweet spot where he can interdict enemy vehicles as they move toward the battlefield. And if you'll excuse me for just a moment, I have a toddler to release from her crib. And I'm back. Okay, where are we? Visky pursuing his next target, another allied tank. This time, is that an M26? Not looking the right direction. Taken down, no questions asked. That 5.7 American medium tank. No good if you don't know where the enemy is. Visky being so sneaky, so stealthy, so well positioned in this familiar map in War Thunder, taking advantage of the trees, the bushes, the walls, and the mobility of his Panther-based medium tank. Now the only question left is, how did that not go through? Visky turning at just the right moment, the last second, noticing that 76 Sherman and angling his side armor to bounce yet another shot. I'm sorry, that's not a 76 Sherman. That was a Walker Bulldoge, which explains why that APDS didn't manage to pen Visky's angled side armor. APDS has poor penetration against reasonable angles, at least in the variant you find on the Walker Bulldog. Visky, now lord of all he surveys, with, what is that, 12 kills. My goodness. The only question now, what is that? M18, and blacking out the transmission, sometimes destroying the transmission, hull breaks in M18, and sometimes it doesn't. But a second shot into the crew compartment of M18 destroys the vehicle, this time with a hull break. Okay, Gaijin. Okay. 13 kills, a baker's dozen, an absolute massacre in terms of War Thunder in any battle mode, and not the least in Tank RB, a showing that one can be proud of. Visky deathless up to this point, and there's really nothing left to do. The enemy team wiped from the field. Visky set up in a decent position, looking for the last targets that he could possibly get before the tickets run out for the enemy team, and now dipping into wet, he washes off the grime of battle from his Panther tank, Yagged Panther, and now his tank is as good as new, ready for the next Cass. You can't hide from Allied bombs, Germany. Now, switching tones a bit, we have Gandalf in the PE-3. This is Gulag Plane, the bomber that was designed in prison. It was interesting times in Soviet Union when this aircraft was designed, and yet we have a solid and versatile airframe, especially in terms of War Thunder, something that you'll see shortly. But first, what are we looking at? A BV-238 gun shipping on that DB-3, and he is going to need to DB somewhere else, far away from that Christmas lights display, that 4th of July level of Daka Daka. Look at it, it's beautiful. He's diving in pursuit. Come on, BV, turn on the wing smoke and make it official. This is a one-man troll squad. BV gun shipping, kind enough to turn off the sprinklers for that Allied aircraft to come in for an attack run on that poor DB-3 that is no doubt either dead, dying, or highly suppressed. The voices of a peasant in a faraway field. Look at being repressed. Come see the violence inherent in the system. And Brooklyn has run out of juice, so I mean, I'm talking like literally, it's actually a blueberry smoothie, by the way, but she's soliciting for more juice. This would be the second wave of juice, so I'm talking about my toddler IRL. If you're a bit confused here, you're hearing the sounds. That is my toddler asking for more juice as Gandalf gives a little bit of Daka Daka to the enemy. Now turning. Are we doing this? Are we doing this? Are we turning with an I-16? And we're gone. That was a nice entrance to try and get an attack angle, and a nice exit, well planned and executed by Gandalf. A wizard is never early nor late. He always arrives precisely when he means to, and exits a dogfight with an I-16 while he still has his wings intact. In any event, why am I so silly today? It's all this memes research I've been doing, I guess. Anyway, already with a bit of activity in the melee, Gandalf is going to show his colors here. And keep in mind, we're in a medium bomber right now. This is something you can't quite pull off with a B-25 or practically any other bomber in the game. There are a few examples that you can do this in, but none so derpy, none so glorious as the PE-3 itself, with its punchy Dishka machine gun, and on some models I think it also gets a 20mm in the nose. I'm not quite sure which one this is. Spitfire comes in, spraying and entreating the king for extra effectiveness on his high explosive ammunition, to no effect if you don't make contact. The PE-3 maneuvering well, taking a hit to a wing root but showing otherwise no major damage. Yuri on the Dishka Daka, opening up on the enemy. Dishka taking names and dealing some damage in a completely AI controlled way as Gandalf goes for the kill on the BB, and he will be seeing his hangar soon. I don't know, that was hasta la vista, BB. That's right, that's the one I wanted. Spitfire set afire, an easy target now for Gandalf as he closes in for the kill. A quick burst, another, this one landing even closer in live gameplay, I'm sure, as the Spitfire goes down for Gandalf's third kill in PE3. Very nicely done. Stalin is proud. Your ticket out of Gulag will be arriving in the next few years. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed those two videos. I love featuring replays on the channel, and there's a lot coming in the future, events and things that I'd like to share with you guys when the time is right, and a pretty big IRL announcement as well, again, when the time is right. Catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.